Hey guys, what's up? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of World Trigger on Season 2, which is on Episode 2 or Episode 75 of the overall total number of episodes. So if anything else, let's just get this started. We have to it that, the neighbors' attacks are still making their offensive against the headquarters, and their objective is to destroy the ship. And destroying that ship will delay border for them to go to the neighbor world and get more resources whatsoever, because that's what it's about, and get stronger. But Galapagos agents or team is trying to make sure they don't do that, because it's bad enough that they have enough enemies already in their own world. But that aside, yeah. We have to it that the Miwa unit, which is led by Shuji Miwa, that guy, that freaking Snake Eyes guy, ends up taking Koskero. Well, of course, that's pretty much Yonia and Shuji Miwa taking Koskero on to try to stop him from doing any other damage. They did have some trouble along the way because when it came to Yonia's blade, apparently it gets wrapped around some gooey stuff of the neighbor's trigger, and that makes the blade dull and makes it non-fatal. But thanks to Miwa and Yonia's planning tactics and working together, they managed to actually bypass that and give Koskero a hard time. And Yonia ends up cutting off the leg of Koskero in a certain way, saying that he's been going after the legs lately, etc. As for Wen, she ends up taking on the Nasu unit, which is pretty much Rei Nasu and Yuko Kumagai, etc. We get to know that Wen was actually having a hard time with them, so she decides to activate a little bit more of her trigger abilities, in order to get the advantage over them. Eventually, Wen Saw, or the neighbor Wen Saw, yeah, that's her name, pretty much ends up using a smokescreen and ends up disguising herself as what? One of the Nasu unit members, Yuko Kumagai, and ends up cutting off the arm from Nasu herself, and she gets really enraged about this and says, "Oh, now you've done it, you hear me?" etc. As for the other two neighbors, which is Gatlin and Ratarikov, which I'll call him Rata instead because pronouncing his name is really difficult, they end up getting ready to take on one of Border's powerful attackers, which is pretty much filled with Konami, Murakami Sho, Kazama himself, and Tachikawa K. And Tachikawa K is the number one border attacker, that kind of thing, etc. But Konami does warn Tachikawa K that, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, you will get sliced in two by Jin's vision, as he said. And Tachikawa finds that interesting, and he gets prepared for it, As for Yotaro himself, Yotaro is pretty much on his way to maybe track down Hyusei, and Jin's pretty worried about that, and he's counting on the top attackers of Border to handle Gatlin and Koskero and Ratakov, I mean Ratakov and Gatlin, which is pretty much Tachikawa K and Konami, Murakami Sho, and Kazama Soya, etc. And we see to it, of course, as the episode continues on, Nanomia Squad along with some other squads of the Border ends up having to work together in order to propel the neighbors' attacks. Of course, Konami, Tachikawa K, Murakami Sho, and Kazuma does work together to try to take out the other neighbors that's trying to go after the ship. And we see to it, of course, that we get to see the attack that Gatlin made with when he lost one of his arms by Kazama Sho, because he makes himself invisible, that kind of thing. But they still have some trouble along the way, but they try to make the tactics go okay. They're trying to take out Ratakov, or Rata himself, that's working with Gatlin to take on Tachikawa K, Kazama Soya, and Murakami and Konami, because Rata is pretty much a support, and him being a support is already troubling, and take out the weaker one first before taking out the strong one, But eventually, they still have some trouble. They do struggle a bit, but they seem to know what they're doing. It's eventually, you know. As for Husei, he ends up trying to like reunite with one of the neighbors so he could go back to his home world country, you know. That was his goal from the start when he got captured, which is really sad and ironic, but you know, whatever the case may be. As the episode continues on, we get to see one of the neighbors, Yomi, ends up manually controlling two of the neighbor Trion soldiers and gives everyone else a hard time. And later on, we get to see that they get split into two different groups. You know, I mean, we have Katora ends up going with like what's that other little girl's name to like to handle the control manual Trion soldier, while the other guy ends up having to while there's other people trying to handle the other manual controlled Trion soldier. So pretty much two neighbor soldiers being manually controlled by Yomi himself to try to break their ranks whatsoever. But we have two that they end up splitting up their tactics in order to to try to like turn the tide, you know, that kind of thing. So pretty much pretty much in simple words, without a lot of detail, you know, with like Konami, Tachikara K, and Jin, you know, the neighbors are still pressing their attack to destroy their ship, you know, because their ship is pretty much very important. The border ship is very important, and that allows them to like travel to the neighbors' worlds and invade, you know, that kind of thing. And we all know Osamu's squad, which is part of Tamaoka's branch, is trying to like get on that ship and possibly find Chika's big brother and maybe some other people. But that aside, whatchamacallit? Oh yeah, Yotaro, the little guy who's always with like whatchamacallit, his little like friend or pet, whatever you want to call it, Raijin, I think his name is Raijin. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Raijin Maru. Yotaro is pretty much trying to like follow Husei. We don't know what the reason is, but we'll find out. And Jin seems to be concerned about that, and he's trying to hurry up to go help him out, you know, that kind of thing. But whatever the case may be, yeah. Neighbors attack. Yotaro is trying to catch up with Husei. Husei is trying to like go back to his other world, to his country, you know, that kind of thing. So looks like to me, things are starting to get a little hectic right now, especially with neighbors attacks and trying to destroy the ship, you know. Especially Gatlin and Rata-san is giving somewhat of a hard time to Kazama, Murakami, Konami, and Tachikara K. So yeah, don't know what's bound to happen next, but it's getting very hectic here and now, especially Nasu's squad being a little injured here and there. And as for the others, they're trying to hold off the army to the best of their ability. So until then, people, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace out. Bye bye. Toot-toot-toot.